Now, on this channel, I've always talked about Indiana Jones, but now it's quite hard with the name of the channel. And I will talk a lot more about Indiana Jones in the future, and no matter what. And Indiana Jones is, at the end of the day, a hero. He's very much a movie hero who has fought against evil and tyranny of them all. But he is also, and a hero also needs some villains. And in this video for the celebration of Halloween, I'll be ranking the main villains from all 5 Indiana Jones movies. Now I'm going off of the main villains from all 5 in the movies, but that's just, and I may in the future, maybe next Halloween, make another ranking like this going over side villains for Indiana Jones. But it depends. It's more of a maybe. And that's considering this ranking may not be how you see this, but this is just my opinion. And this is how I ranked all 5 indie villains. And you can say if I'm wrong or bad, but whatever. At dead last, it's Elena's Batgirl. Oh, she's now. I haven't. Now this is as somebody who, like, her plan doesn't make any sense, and she just, like, nothing against the actress, but like, she's still not this intimidating villain, and she comes up very goofy, even for an indie villain. At least, like, the most goofy of indie villains at least come out serious. Especially looking at why is she carrying a sword around at the point where it's the 50s. It's not the 1900s. It's not the early 20th century, right after the Victorian era. And why would she need it? And she also looks weird. Like, I know she's supposed to be a Soviet leader, and it's supposed to be the 50s, but man, that haircut. And I don't think that uniform actually looks like a Soviet uniform. Say what you will about, like, the Nazis in the indie movies, if how they looked inaccurate or something. But, like, they didn't. Yeah, man, the Nazis actually looked inaccurate. And nothing against the actress. Which also, fun fact, the same actress who played her was also in Lord of the Rings. But she's always been dead last, and who's above her may probably make a lot of people mad, but I don't care. It's also just because I really don't like Crystal Skull, so yeah. At number 4 is Vol. Now, I've defended Vol's plan on this channel, and generally said that he works. Especially with how Mads Mikkelsen is a very great actor and generally give this performance. But my main problem with this plan is this. Why does he need to kill Hitler? Like, it can work, but, like, why? Doesn't he need to kill Hitler? Just give him the book. Just because, man, everybody thinks that way. But yeah. Especially there are some things about Vol that I think they should have dived more into. Like, maybe he had, like, connections to, like, some Nazi organizations in Argentina. Or, like, he had some secret plan that was a lot of NASA. Especially reading out the idea of him being somebody brought over by Operation Paperclip for the space race actually kind of makes sense in my opinion. And it was actually a good way of bringing the Nazis back into the Indiana Jones franchise. But I still have complicated feelings because it's just how I feel about Dial and Alone. Dial is still a better movie than Crystal Skull, but I still have strange feelings about it. Yeah, it's just as much as I have strange feelings about the villain. And how he also doesn't have any connection to any, like, I don't know, like the KKK in this universe, like George Lincoln Rockefeller, winning out of the war, general anti-civil rights people during this groups during this time. And he doesn't, and especially rooting out, well, he's a Nazi. But yeah, at number 3, it's Donovan. Now, I know I'm probably making a lot of people mad with this. Like, Donovan is a general good villain. He should, and I've heard that he's supposed to be this parody of Henry Ford, which is somewhat understandable, looking how Henry Ford was somebody who was very much a Nazi sympathizer. So, but like, you don't, but like, if so, I think that's a bad allegory. And this is as somebody who's, like, I think Indiana Jones villains haven't really been complicated. Well, like, because they're Nazis. And when you think about it, Indiana Jones isn't, like, probably, like, the best identification, best representation of what the Nazis were and Nazi sympathizers. But, like, Donovan is still somewhat of good fiction. Even though I wouldn't have before if he was actually a believer in Christ, and the idea being that he was killed because of his hatred, and being considered a heretic. But he's also a good one. But winning how he chose the fossil, because he presumed it is something of riches and possession, and is mispresuming of what Christ actually stood for. And as a Christian, I actually think that's a good story. At number 2, it's Moral Arm. Now, Moral Arm as a villain, I've always found kind of fun, especially winning how he isn't the normal indie villain where he's either a Nazi sympathizer, a Nazi collaborator, or a Nazi or a general villain of one nationwide. He's just a cult leader who just plans on using the magical artifact to take over the world. That's it. And he's a pretty wacky guy, and he's probably one of the most evil villains in the Indiana Jones franchise, or probably, well, the Nazis. But he's still a good villain. And at number 1, it's René Belloq. Now, Belloq is a villain that is very much supposed to be the opposite side of Indy. He's very much, like, even the way of how they dress, they're very much supposed to be opposite. Belloq wears white and Indy wears brown. Like, they're very much supposed to be the two sides of the same coin. He's the Joker and Indy's Batman. They're very much, and he's still one of the best villains out there. Now, what other indie villains would you like me to like? Now, some may say, well, about Toad, and now maybe next Halloween I will make a video about side indie villains from all 5 movies. But that's just for now, and there'll be more videos about Indiana Jones and his adventures. So, see you next time, archaeologists.